Ukraine war. Zelensky denounces Russian terror in UN address. President Volodymyr Zelensky has accused Russia of crimes against humanity after a new missile barrage caused blackouts across Ukraine. He told the UN Security Council via video link that the Russian formula of terror had forced millions of people to stay without energy supplies, without heating, without water, in sub-zero cold. The strikes killed at least 7 people, Ukraine said. Nuclear power plants went offline. The 3 plants still under Ukrainian control were disconnected from the grid, and the Zaporizhzhia plant, Europe's largest, was forced again to rely on diesel generators to power its cooling systems and key safety equipment. The International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has voiced great concern about the Russian-controlled Zaporizhzhia plant, which has suffered damage from repeated shelling. Neighboring Moldova also experienced massive blackouts on Wednesday, but was not directly hit. With winter setting in, Moscow has stepped up strikes on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. Officials say Russia's missile strikes on power stations have caused colossal damage and left more than half of the country's grid in need of repair. Late on Wednesday, Mr. Zelensky said the situation in Kyiv remained very difficult, and efforts would continue through the night to restore electricity. Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said at least 80% of the capital's residents had no power or running water. But Mr. Zelensky said some other cities hit by Russian missiles had managed to restore power, including Lviv, Odessa, and Cherkasy. The U.S. ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, said Russian President Vladimir Putin was weaponizing winter to inflict immense suffering. Having struggled on the battlefield, Moscow is now adopting a cowardly and inhumane strategy that punishes Ukrainian men, women and children, she said. In the southern Zaporizhzhia region, a newborn baby was killed when a missile hit a maternity unit, emergency services said. General Valery Zaluzhny, the commander of Ukraine's armed forces, said 67 cruise missiles were launched by Moscow, with air defenses successfully intercepting 51. Russia also deployed attack drones again, Ukraine's military said. Most of Ukraine's thermal and hydroelectric power plants were also forced to shut down, the energy ministry said. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov did not comment on the attacks during a visit to the Armenian capital Yerevan, but stated that the future and success of the special operation, Moscow's term for its war in Ukraine, are beyond doubt. Moscow has said that attacking Ukraine's power grid could weaken Kyiv's ability to fight and drive its leaders to the negotiating table. Kyiv requested the UN Security Council meeting, and Mr. Zelensky urged the UN to do more to help Ukraine. French President Emmanuel Macron tweeted that Russia's strikes against civilian infrastructure constituted a war crime, following similar comments from the US. Earlier, the European Parliament designated Russia a state sponsor of terrorism over its attack on Ukraine. Soon after the Parliament resolution was passed, the Strasbourg Assembly's website went down because of what EU officials described as a denial of service attack by pro-Kremlin hackers.